All right, everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, do everything you've got to do. Today I'm going to talk about nine things. Nine things. Quite a few. Today's going to be on taxes. Nine taxes. Nine of them. The first one, of course, is going to be on sales tax. And I'll begin with that. Sales tax is a consumption tax. This means that it takes effect upon the purchase of goods and services. This is where the government starts stealing from you right there at the cash register. So, it's in the name of taxes, but everyone is satisfied with it, and I don't know why. Your state taxes, your government taxes, all this other tax. I just don't. I don't. We're overtaxed. If they can send billions and billions to other countries, then they're taxing us way too much. One of the key elements here is identifying who is responsible for paying it or getting stolen from, one of the two. In other words, it's who the government can steal from, you know, in the name of taxes. So when it comes down to sales tax, the duty is on the buyer of the consumer. It's the consumer. So, duty, they use that word, it's a lot of duty. So, our money can be used, sometimes to buy land. The government buys land with our money, tax money, that is stolen from us, of course. And then they're going to call it a park and then charge everyone to camp there and then close the gates whenever whenever they want to, whatever. So you tell me. And I've seen this happen. Matter of fact, the parkway up here, it's the perfect example. To be able to do all this stuff here, however, the company's part of the supply chain need to provide the proper documentation to the IRS. An example of a real estate certificate or something like that. Or, I'm sorry, a resale certificate. In other words, a receipt. They give your information to them so they can take your money from you. Thieves. That's what I call them. Legal thieves. And then they say that each U.S. state, collects taxes, steals from you. And, they compute the sales tax. You multiply the amount of the purchase with the tax rate applicable to each state. So, in other words, each state has a specific sales tax of a percentage. So, I don't like that. I really don't. They use these sales tax calculators to make it easier to figure out the numbers. So I don't understand why each state has to have something different. Most states impose a statewide sales tax rate also. Not only do you get money stolen from your paycheck under what is that called, FICA, also North Carolina steals from you too through your paycheck. Also at the cash register. Also when you fill up your tank. Also when you get money stolen from land taxes, and that's another one on here. So I will get to that one. Sales tax is also a different use tax, which is, and it says it can be complicated. Of course, you got to make it complicated if you're going to steal from people. And it's tax definition. It's a type of sales tax that's imposed on goods and services the person wants to use in that state. So these items come from out of state, and they can tax that too. Like if Jimmy has a store in South Carolina and he purchases stuff from North Carolina, North Carolina can tax him on it. That's ridiculous. Anyway, yeah. Okay, we're going to go to number two. We're only in at number two, and we've got almost 5 minutes gone. Another common tax is a sin tax. SIN. Come on. What is It's a kind of excess tax, which is a form of indirect tax. In other words, you don't see it, but you damn sure do feel it. An indirect tax means that it's the responsibility of paying the tax liability lies on the manufacturer or the wholesaler. But you know what they do? These entities often pass the tax burden to the consumers. Okay, we're paying tax again. And it's included in the product price. So whenever they say you can get it for this, and with 99 on the end of it, which item would you buy? Something for $2.99 or $3? You're going to pay tax on it. And the tax ain't going to be no different. An excess tax, meanwhile, is a type of tax levied on specific goods. It can be ad valorem taxes and special. It's all kind of crap. But anyway, it's a sin tax. I mean, look that up. It's ideally the collection of a sin tax should discourage most people from patronizing these products and considered dangerous to health, like cigarettes. You know, I mean, the IRS needs also to be investigated on all this stuff here, because all of this is stuff with alcohol. Uh, Whenever you win at the lottery, whenever you win at the casino, every time. So when you win the lottery or you win at the casino, the IRS wins too. So they should be investigated. To me, why do they win every time you win? Why do they win every time anybody wins? They also got number 3 here, a travel tax. This is ridiculous. Before people start to even pick up their bags, they need to be aware of one thing. Local governments can also collect or steal, as I say, a travel tax. This can then increase your spending or your needs, such as lodging, getting a rental car, stuff like that. Travel taxes can come in different forms. One common tax is traveling and lodging, like I just said. It is an addition to the sales tax, an addition tax is what it should be called. This tax can also be a fixed amount or a percentage. Well, why don't they just make it either one or the other? To me, make it a fixed amount if it's going to be on there, like $3, $2, something like that. But they it's levied at 2% of whatever. So if you're going to do $100, you're going to pay $102. So you always figure that out. So whenever you decide to go somewhere and you want to rent a car, you're gonna be taxed on it. So far there are 22 states that impose a tax for lodging and accommodations, and 38 states that collect tax on rental vehicles. What do they do with this money? What do they do with the money they steal from you? What is it? Give it to Ukraine? Give it to 180 billion of them? I mean, next, number 4 is a capital gains tax. All financial gains from earnings from investments have corresponding capital gains tax. They also include taxes from dividends and interest and accumulated from bank accounts. Man, either way, they're going to steal from you. Either way, doesn't matter. They're going to just take your money, either at the cash register, the pumps, renting a car, lodging, working, anything. And in the United States, the government imposes taxes on short-term capital gains at the same rate as income tax, and long-term capital gains as a lower rate. Why even have a rate? That's my money, Number 5, inheritance. It's 40% on inheritance tax. If you get, let's just say you get $100,000, you're only getting 60,000 of it. That's it. That's all you're getting. And then after that, you probably be taxed on that every year until it's all gone. But it's not gone. It's in somebody else's pocket. So to me, on the inheritance tax, estate tax, government shouldn't even be involved in that. Just like in the hospital, they shouldn't be involved in any of that either. Estate tax can be a significant tax burden to the bereaved. It's a burden, like you just said. It's a burden. The tax is a burden. That's why the government has also introduced an exemption amount. Why? If you don't have it, you don't need to introduce any kind of exemptions. So, take that away. Get rid of it. Income tax. All taxpayers, which I call victims, regardless of their work employment status, need to pay tax for personal income they earn. Pay tax. I've never in my life, people, have actually paid taxes. It was taken from me. Never have I signed a piece of paper that says, yes, I'll pay 3%, 8%, 12, whatever. I've never had that. I fill out them W-2s and all that stuff, but that's just because I'm working there, and they take that money out of my check and give it to the government to do something with. I don't know. I want to know what's happening with my money. The amount depends on taxpayers' income status and the amount of taxable income. In other words, how much they can steal from you. At the federal level, the IRS, here they are again, identified 7 income tax brackets. So you gotta, it's how much money you make is how much they will steal from you. Now you got another one. It's called a value-added tax. This is ridiculous. In sales tax, a customer pays it only at the end of the supply chain. The government collects VAT, which that should be abolished, at every stage of the production or supply chain. So the company I work for pays I don't know how many types of taxes. The company you work for probably pays just as many. You know, uh, and if you don't, you go to jail or you're up to a fine or something. If you don't allow these people to steal money from you, you go to jail. And then we've got number 8, the payroll tax. Everybody has that. The federal government assesses the payroll tax for each worker. In paying these taxes, let them steal the money from you. Either the employers deduct a certain amount from the employee's salary, which they call a withholding tax, or the employee can pay it directly to the government. In other words, hey, here you go. Here's a whole bunch of money. I don't need it. You need it. Give it to whoever. I don't get that. Payroll taxes also include contributions to disability, survivor, and unemployment benefits. Failure to remit payroll taxes in a timely manner accurate can result in a penalty ranging from 2 to 10%. So in other words, you don't give it to them, they're going to penalize you. It's all this to me is a sham, scam, and everything else. And here we go, the one that I hate the most. Number 9, the property tax. Property taxes are real estate or personal properties. Local governments collect these taxes, steal from you again, as a source of revenue. Why? Revenue for what? A new pothole in a damn road? I can make that myself with a sledgehammer. In computing property taxes, the government multiplies the fair market value of the property with the tax rate applicable to a certain city or municipality. It can range from 0.7% to 3.6%. So you guys figure out what you want to do on all that stuff. I mean, I just don't understand why all these taxes have to be, called taxes. All this thieving has to be called taxes. I don't get it. So y'all decide. If you want to have it all. The reason why I'm doing this here is I want this on the ballots. We're coming up on a serious election. A non-payment of property tax can result in a lien, which can decrease a person's chance of selling the home or the land fast. Taxpayers, though, remember taxpayers, victims, can also negotiate the rate as well as, the dispute in it. Why is there a dispute in it? I mean, they can also claim property tax as part of their itemized deductions, but you still don't get nothing. You don't get anything, which can then reduce their federal income. We can reduce it. Why even have it? To be eligible, they need to meet certain requirements, of course, that are made up by the thieves. I mean, in order for you to meet the requirements of what the thieves decide they want you to meet. For example, their itemized deductions could be more than their standard deductions. And then, I got a letter at the bottom that says it's everyone's responsibility to understand the different types of taxes that are mandated by the IRS. They're in everything. They're in all your money. There are already many sources of information, including tax relief centers. Why do we need those? If we didn't have this tax crap, we only had one tax, we wouldn't need lawyers to get us off of if somebody owes $20,000, $30,000 for no reason. They didn't take a loan out with these people. And you don't need no tax relief center. That's just another thing, to jack your taxes up anyway to build the building. And, of course, to put the employees in there. So anyway, it's a whole bunch of tax stuff that goes on. It's so, anyway. All right, so my saying at the end of this story, at the end of this tax story, is a man will only cry for one woman in his lifetime. After that, his soul will never allow him to fully fall in love again. I know that feeling. All right, everybody. You know what the thing is. Flint's out.